Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Open Your Eyes to the Universe. I'm Gabrielle Martin, your host for this evening. And as we begin our episode tonight, the Universe team acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, to the sea, and to community. And we pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and we extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. And we'd also like to acknowledge and respect the wise elder within us all here and the collective wisdom that we have with those joining our episode tonight. Last month, we were in the company of sacred soprano Heather Lee and composer-performer Professor Kim Cuneo. Both of them are two long-time meditators, and they were discussing music and inner life. We were exploring how music can be both a doorway to meditative states and the deeper consciousness, as well as a guide to healing and transformation. Tonight on Youniverse, we have Sister Meera Nagananda joining us for a conversation on karma and destiny. You may recall Sister Meera's previous discussion on silence power, where she shared with us her insights and experiences with this peaceful, invisible, subtle power within each of us that works on a vibrational level, and she spoke of its application in everyday living. So Jam will place the link to this episode in the chat box for those of you who would like to revisit this conversation. And tonight, Sister Meera is speaking with us on karma and destiny. She has researched extensively into the subject of mind-matter relations, and I think she's currently an authority in the study of mind-matter relations, mind management, and spiritual empowerment. She's been a practitioner of Raj Yoga meditation for nearly 60 years, and she's also a senior teacher within the Brahma Kumaris globally. She has a science background. She graduated from Mysore University in India just before embarking on a spiritual journey with the Brahma Kumaris dedicated to world service. So she is now a very seasoned yogi. She's currently based in Malaysia, where she plays a leading role in directing and guiding the Brahma Kumaris in the Asia Pacific region. She travels widely. But tonight she's with us and she will unpack two great spiritual concepts, karma and destiny, and will explain their relevance to everyday living. Sister Meera, it's a joy, indeed it's an honour to have you back with us tonight on Youniverse. Thanks for joining us and a very warm welcome to you down under here in Australia.
Thank you very much for having me with this show.
Yeah, it's a great topic, Sister Meera, and I feel you're well equipped to be the one unpacking it with us and exploring it with us tonight. I'd like to sort of begin with this karma. It's a concept that's frequently misunderstood in the West, where it evokes a sense of foreboding. And, like people often say quite judgmentally, oh, that's your bad karma. And even in cafes these days, you can see a tip jar, which they now call a karma jar. And it's usually located near the cash register, and people can put money in it to tip the waiting staff. But it has a kind of suggestion behind it that if you've done anything wrong, you can atone for it by placing money in the jar as a tip. But as we know, or as some of us know, karma simply means action. So from your spiritual perspective, how do you define karma?
Yeah, I agree. Karma is a Sanskrit word, a Hindi word, which is translated into English. It is just action. I would define karma as energy using matter. When living energy begins to use the matter, the process begins. Now the question is, when do we begin to perform karma? Actually, when the soul enters the fetus of the mother, when she is 5 months old or 4 months old, karma already begins in the womb of the mother. And from then onwards, until till the last breath of life. Until the soul leaves the body, karma continues. Which means everything I, the soul, do through this body, the 5 elements of matter, whether it is thinking, whether it is looking, whether it is breathing, whether it is seeing, everything is karma. It's not that, people think sometimes that after you have taken birth, your karma begins. No. Karma has already began long ago. And everything is karma when the energy begins to use the matter. But now, in that karma action, there are 3 categories. There are 3 types. One type of karma is what we call as vikarma. Vikarma means negative action, impure action. All action I, the soul, energy perform through this body under the influence of 5 negative tendencies: lust, greed, anger, attachment, ego, that goes under the account of negative karma. And the proof of that negative karma is I experience sorrow when I am doing it, and I give sorrow to others in relationship, either people or matter. That is one kind. Second kind of karma is what we call sukarma, positive action, good karma. All action, energy using matter and doing action in soul consciousness, connected with God, the source of light, those goes under good karma because it is performed under the influence of positive values of the soul, like love, peace, mercy, all these things. So the one who performs to karma also feel happy, and they give happiness to others through their action. Now, third category of karma is what we call neutral action, akarma. It is all actions that is done only in soul consciousness. I tell you some secret here. At the moment, at this time, one cannot expect to perform neutral karma. It is not possible. Why? Because each one of us have a burden, a load of vikarma on our heads to settle. One can only think about performing neutral action when one has excess of good karma in their account. Now, coming back to the third step, everything in this world is governed by laws. Government has law. Everywhere there is a law, road law, this law, So karma also is bound by a law. The law of karma is something connected with the third law of Newton. Action and reaction are equal and opposite. Say, for example, if I give you sorrow today, I am bound to receive sorrow as a result of the law of karma. Law of karma is absolute. Man-made karma can be amended. But law of karma is absolute. It is same for the king and the pauper. So it cannot be escaped. So if I give you happiness, I will definitely get happiness. And so this is the basic understanding one should have regarding karma. Now, the second very important aspect of karma is as the energy, living energy, is the one who performs karma, it is important to understand what is the definition of death. What happens when we die? Because reincarnation is very much connected with the law of karma. Because when I, the soul, when I leave my body, I carry with me the karma, good karma, bad karma, whatever, in the form of impression, sanskara, impression, that determines my next birth. So our parents are not responsible for our birth. Our country is not responsible for our birth. Environment, it is my karma that takes me there. And so karma and reincarnation are very much connected. I need to understand reincarnation in order to understand karma philosophy accurately.
Yeah, there's some big comments in that, Sister Meera, that you've made. I want to step back into this aspect of soul consciousness, which you connected with sukarma. I take it that if I'm performing vikarma, negative karma, by which means I'm influenced by some of those vices you spoke of, then, and I want to perform sukarma, and you mentioned the need to be soul conscious to do that. I'd like you to talk a little bit about soul consciousness and how we are, or how we become soul conscious.
See, so far, we have been identifying ourselves as this body made out of 5 elements. That is why whenever we are asked to give our introduction, the first thing we say, I am so and so. When I say I refer to this body. But in order to make my karma sukarma, I need to step down from the consciousness of I as body into I as a soul, living being. So the moment I begin to realize I am a living being, soul, then I am able to tap the positive energy merged within that energy to perform action. And that is why I am influenced by the positive qualities of the soul when I am soul conscious. It needs a lot of practice because we have been in body consciousness for a long period of time. We have been identifying ourselves as this body for a long period of time, and we are under the influence of all these negative traits. And so it's not possible for us to overcome that overnight. It is a process to transform myself from body consciousness to soul consciousness. So once I am able to realize myself as a soul, then it becomes easy. With that realization, my awareness has been transformed. So awareness leads to my my thoughts leads into performing good action.
Okay, so if it takes so long to become soul conscious, and I can understand why, because we're so used to thinking of ourselves just as a body, and maybe somewhere we have a soul. If my Is it possible to be performing sukharma as we become soul conscious? I'm thinking of those people who um, do beautiful acts of charity, for example, and they're based on values of mercy or benevolence, or they're based on values of compassion. Um, is that charity or is that sukharma?
Means, of course, there are souls who have accumulated good karma unconsciously, subconsciously in their past life. And so they continue to perform charitable action. But sometimes the intention behind performing charitable action is not very clean. When you are soul conscious, the intention, because karma philosophy teaches us to look into the intention behind our action. What determines my karma is good or bad is not the external form of karma like charity, but my intention. If my intention is unclean, I want to get my name and fame and all this, so then that is not going under good karma account. So it is already being tainted with kind of selfish motives. And so when I am really soul conscious, my intentions are clean.
So,
I don't have any selfish motive
hmm.
when I am performing actions clean. And that is why the return of those actions stays with me for a longer period of time.
So there can be no intention of self-gain,
No?
no intention for self-gain.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
otherwise it will be focused on, oneself. It is more self-centric.
Right. So there's a lot in that, and there's a Christian saying that says, "As you sow, so shall you reap." Um, that's actually understanding a law of karma, really, isn't it? That what I give out, I'll get back.
The same thing also Buddhism talks about, the law of cause and effect.
Yes.
Because there is no effect in my life without a cause, and there is no cause without effect. Because, one thing happens in this understanding of law of karma, that many things that happens in our present life we cannot accept, because we feel that I have given happiness to somebody, but that person is all the time giving me sorrow. How come? The karma is not working here, they think. But it is working, because they are looking at their life only in this present life. But the soul has been in many bodies before, and the soul has come in contact with many other bodies in interaction, and it has performed actions, but we have forgotten. Action is performed, reaction is forgotten. But then the law of karma is that action and reactions are equal and opposite. For example, you throw a black ball towards someone in this birth. So in the next birth, the same person will throw you the black ball. But you can question why. But you have forgotten that you are the one who have initiated the karma, not that person. So
Hmm.
if I can realize very important thing in this karma, that I am responsible for whatever is happening in my life. No one and nothing is going to be responsible. We stop playing blame games. Today, very easy. When something happens, we put blame on others. But actually, we don't take responsibility. So nothing happens without a reason. No cause and effect. So that is why I said in the beginning that you need to understand the eternity of the soul. You need to understand the reincarnation in order to understand karma accurately. So once I know, the soul, I have lived in many bodies before, and I will continue to live in many bodies hereafter. And this is one of the many bodies I am in. And so when I was in the body in my past, I have interacted with so many people. Negative, positive, whatever, I have forgotten. But it is recorded within the soul in the form of impression. And so now I am getting reaction from that soul, which I cannot accept. But once we understand the philosophy of karma, so we accept, we don't react. The more we stop reacting, the faster it is for us to settle that karmic account.
So then, taking the laws of karma make us completely responsible and accountable for our actions. And in that context, it's a gift of empowerment, because so long as I'm blaming someone else, I'm not going to be taking responsibility to change or to clear.
No.
But if I take responsibility, then I'm actually giving myself a gift of empowerment. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. And also, it's important to know there are some signs in our life, some symptoms, which gives me a clue that at this time I am settling karma. At this time I am creating good karma. There are some indications.
What are those indications?
I must look out for those indications. Say, for example, now physical sickness. So, of course, it is a blessing in disguise, we say, So, it can be due to many reasons one can get physically sick. But it is a kind of, punishment I am receiving for some bad karma or in my past life. So today having pain in my body, it is a sign that I have given pain to other people's bodies through my action in the past. So I am responsible for this pain today. So when I start understanding that, I can swallow the pain and make a crucifix into a pinprick. When you accept, then the big thing, mountain, will become like a molehill.
So it's a consequence. We'd see it as a consequence rather than as, if it's action and reaction, then it would be a consequence to something done in the past that perhaps in another lifetime, but I'm experiencing it in this lifetime. So you're suggesting that it's come to clear.
I have. It is just like you have taken loan from someone and you have forgotten. But the person from whom you have taken loan, they will remember to come back to take their loan, isn't it? When the debtors come, then we get angry. Why are you here? But we have borrowed from him, so we have to return. So it is like paying back to the doctors, paying back to the hospital, paying back the bills for the medicine, taking the pain. All this is karma settling. That is one. Second way is relationship. Very big subject. Karma settling in our relationship. it is a very big story. You go from one country to another as a visitor, and you go there and meet with an accident and you break your leg, and you are admitted to the hospital, and people who are your relatives are not there to look after. Somebody else will come to look after you. Somebody else will pay for you. So this is also, and not only that, karma means, like, say, simple example. You are working in an office. Your relationship with everyone is 100% okay. But there are a few guys with whom your relationship is always in conflict. Either they are jealous, angry, bossy, conflict. So why? Only few souls, not everybody. So that means that soul and me have interacted, in some past birth, so we are settling. So when I understand, I don't react. This is very important to underline. Don't react. It will make your karma more exemplified, So then you feel it more. So that is of relationship. And the third is nature. We have abused the nature a lot, misused and abused the nature. Now we have to settle karma with the fire. Why you think all these natural calamities happening? So the elements of matter are angry with us. They are settling our karma because we have abused the nature, like burning the forest, building high-rise buildings. So it is like abusing the matter, isn't it? And so the matter is now angry with us. All these flood and volcano and natural calamities are the proof. And so I need to serve the nature, don't misuse, overuse elements of matter for your selfish purpose. Because the man has developed desire to such an extent that he is even prepared to squeeze from the elements of matter. So 3 types of action we are performing in this body that shows clearly that we are creating karmic accounts instead of settling. And that is why our sorrow is increasing day by day without our understanding.
So those 3 areas were in my relationships, in my health and well-being, and then with nature, and I suppose you also mean with the animal kingdom, yeah? When you talk about that? Yeah. So we can see indications clearly in our world at the moment of settling accounts in these ways. I think the state of our relationships is often in deficit. We can see the roughness with which our environment is responding to our mistreatment, climate change, and so on. And we only need to look at hospitals and alternative medicines to see that many are suffering and settling karma through their body and their mental health as well. I want to pick up 2 points with you. Is there any other way to clear your... I love the way you said, don't react, to keep it, if there's an account or with another person at work or whatever, don't react, keep it neutral.
Few other techniques that we can use to settle our karmas with a fast speed, fast lane. So one of them is actually stop performing negative action. I must stop. That is why we must use our intellect, See, when God created human species, he gave them an intellect to think right and wrong. And we are not using that intellect properly. So use your intellect to discern right and wrong and do the right thing, so that you don't accelerate your karmic account. Stop performing bad action. Think before you do, think before you speak, your discrimination power. Second method, increase doing good action as much as possible. Increase. You need to have excess of good action in order to, erase the bad action that is already existing. And the third important method is to incinerate all the bad actions, burn them. And for that only, we need to practice meditation. With the power of meditation, we are able to incinerate the root of those things, root of those bad actions, so that we are free from it forever. So I would suggest the third method is try to meditate as much as possible, so that, what is meditation again? It is an art of positive thinking. So when you are introducing to your mind the positive thoughts, slowly, you find the positive thoughts will suppress or make the negative thoughts disappear. And you begin to lead a life of positive thinking. So we call it as, the fire of yoga, the power of meditation incinerates the cell. So 3 methods we can use to quicken the process of settling accounts.
So that was stop performing negative actions, perform positive actions, and using the powers of meditation to remove the root of those transgressions. Yeah. So would you say that understanding karma encourages people to lead more ethical lives?
Yes, very much, because you begin to use your intellect, not intelligence, but your intellect. You begin to listen to your inner voice, your wisdom more often, because it's very, very important to use your wisdom in order to change the direction of your thought. Intelligence will not help me. The Laukik means the worldly academic education will not help me. But the wisdom, which is the listening to the inner voice from within, will help me to guide my thoughts in the right way. So I am able to change my lifestyle. I am able to change the way of my behavior. And I will see at the end of the day, when I check my account of action, it will be more of good action comparing to bad action.
So just looking at this action-reaction aspect, Sister Meera, you talked about you threw a ball to someone in one lifetime and it hit you, and then the next lifetime or some lifetimes later when you've forgotten all about it, they throw a ball at you and it harms your body. That sounds very much like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But what I see happening in the world now is an increase in violence, an increase in diets that are disrespectful to animals or and to one's body, and the consumption of products that do us harm, our bodies harm at the very least, and so on. But this increase in in violence, war, rape, murder, so much, corruption. So that suggests that things are increasing and that there's something else happening where we are right now as things are right now in the world, where it's seeming like it's more than just an eye for an eye. Like you might do something, but you get a lot back, a lot more back than what you gave in the first place. Can you explain that a little bit, please?
Is actually you don't know how much you have given. From what you are receiving, you can measure. The law of karma says action and reaction are equal and opposite. You get equal reaction from the other person for the action you have performed. But because we have forgotten, it's very difficult to accept it. It's very difficult to accept it. But my experience is when you have some percentage of soul realization, self-realization, and accept the reincarnation theory, you are able to understand that I existed in bodies in the past. And so through those bodies, I have reacted and accumulated. Sometimes it is, individual karma, family karma, country karma, community karma also.
Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that community karma, which I sometimes think of as collective karma. Tell us about that, Sister Meera. What's this aspect of collective karma or community karma? How does that work?
See, I remember one example. There was some years ago in London somewhere, a group of one mad man came and he shoot all the small children. The teacher was teaching in the classroom. You may remember that incident. So all the children died because he shoot everyone, including teacher. And that became a very big national karma. And the whole cabinet, the whole country mourned for those souls. And that means it is a kind of a collective karma. Those souls have performed with that one soul.
Yes.
Some past life. And so consciously, unconsciously, it just happened suddenly. And then those are small babies, children, innocent. They don't know why this is happening. But of course, nothing happens without a reason, And so later on, an investigation was done, whatever, the person was not normal, whatever. But it is the karma, national karma, The whole country got involved in that kind of incident. And sometimes it is family karma also. Not one person, but the family karma, family is involved. They suffer together.
Okay.
And sometimes we say aeroplane crash, for example. All people died in the aeroplane crash. Only one baby survived. It's amazing. Karma of that baby to survive, but it is not going to be happy anywhere after surviving also. But it survived. But the rest of the karma, in a way, they died. That is their good karma because they did not suffer.
Right. Okay.
Nostradamus had predicted the destruction. He said, at the end, those who are left behind envy those who are dead because they think those who dead are lucky. They did not suffer because those who are left behind, they have to settle karma, radiation, all these war incidents, results. Nobody can escape the fruit of karma today or tomorrow. They have to pay for it.
Yeah, either they receive the benefit of their good karma and receive the consequences of their vikarma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who feels stuck in patterns that they believe are karmic? Um, what would you advise? So someone's feeling very stuck in their karmic patterns. How would you advise them to free themselves of those patterns?
So I think that means that person have not understood karma philosophy at all.
So you'd explain karma philosophy.
Have to enlighten that soul about karma philosophy. I mean, it's not because they have not understood it will leave them alone. No, they also have to face the consequences. But then better to know it so that I am able to correct myself, So that's why we say there is no escape. You can cross the red light when you are driving the car, and you can be free from getting a ticket. Police did not see. You can break that kind of law and escape. But this karma philosophy law is such that there is no escape.
And ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not no excuse.
Not
Um, I wanted to just touch base with you on one more aspect around karma, and that is assets, the karma of assets. So that can be, property, um, money, and so on. Is there karma with that resource, those resources?
Yes, definitely. Because, you, whatever money that you earn with honesty from your hard work, it will stay with you. If anything that is being earned in a wrong way, cheating or lying or whatever, it will face the consequences likewise. We have seen that day in and day out. When I was in Australia a few years ago, there used to be bushfire. I used to go and see the houses. It's so amazing to see one house totally intact, not burnt at all. The fire has not touched it. But the next house, totally burned. So what makes the difference? Because the people who built that house, they must have built with their honesty, money earned from their heart, not cheating. So their karma comes back to them. But if you have earned money in a wrong way, it goes in that way also.
Yes.
So why it is very important to think of the consequences of the action. There are some people who lie to help others. It's karma, but they don't lie for themselves, but they lie, help others. But that person is not going to suffer. But the person who tells the lie will suffer. But they don't remember that. Because karma is in their account, isn't it? Not in the other person's account.
Yes. Look, this is going well. I think it'd be timely for us to have meditation now, if you wouldn't mind, to I guess just to sum up this aspect of karma and focusing on how we clear our karmas. Would you be able to lead us in a meditation along those lines, Sister Meera?
Consciousness is important.
Consciousness, yeah.
So
Mm.
soul consciousness, to become aware of who I am, you know. So what are my values intrinsically? And then I stick to those intrinsic values and experience it and use it in my daily life. So let us
Beautiful.
so
Thank you.
sit quietly, relax, breathe in and out normally. As I sit in silence, I ask myself this question: who am I? Who am I really? When I introduce myself to others, what do I tell them? I may tell them my name, my occupation, my relationship, my age. Is that all me? Is there anything more than these I can think about myself? As I begin to ponder over these thoughts, I begin to see another layer emerging from deep within. I have feelings. I have emotions. I have thoughts, desires. I even have memories. All these subtle aspects are contained in a tiny point of living light that resides in the center of my forehead. Let me focus my mind towards the center of my forehead and feel that living light, living energy. I am light. I am a being of light. I am immortal. I exist forever. This body is only one of the many costumes I put on to play my role. I am eternal, immortal, imperishable energy. I am peace. I am love. I am full of energy. In this soul conscious awareness, I feel myself deep inside, enjoying lightness and freedom. I am light. I am peace. I am love. I allow these vibrations to surround me, to envelop me, so that I always feel safe and secure. Safe and secure. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Meera. That was a meditation of great clarity. Thank you for that. And I was wanting to turn our conversation to this second spiritual uh, concept, a giant spiritual concept, and that is destiny. And in the West, it's frequently misunderstood because it evokes a sense of no free will. While in the East, while in the East, it's often used to give reason to inaction. I'm wondering how you reconcile free will with the idea of a destined blueprint for life. And I'm also interested to know what you think in terms of, do we have control over our destinies, or are our paths predetermined? Would you like to unpack this whole concept of destiny for us, please?
So actually, one thing that really attracted me towards Raj Yoga is understanding that there is a free will and I can change my destiny. that really touched me very much. I used to live with that concept. 60 years ago, I cannot change my destiny. But now I know for 100% that my destiny is in my hands. I am the architect of my destiny. I can make it or break it, you know. So I would say, from my experience, 40% is karma, 60% is destiny. That
So
means,
destiny's more powerful.
yes, the present is in your hand. That was past. Whatever karma is finished, but now you have the pen. See, God has given all of us the pen for writing our destiny. That means creating whatever karma we want with a free will. God doesn't interfere in this. Parents doesn't interfere. Country doesn't interfere. You are responsible yourself. So you can change your destiny if you want. That is why we always say, first, everything begins with the thought. So check your thoughts, because your thoughts will become your words. Check your words will become your action. Check your action becomes your habit. Check your habit becomes your character. Check your character becomes your destiny. You are the master of your destiny. You can break it or make it. So how it works is, my realization is, see, before coming to Raj Yoga, I believe in soul, but I did not practice. So when I understood and realized I am a soul, I begin to awaken one faculty of mine which was sleeping. That is the conscience. The conscience was sleeping. I was using only mind, intellect, sanskara. So when that conscience was awakened, what we call it as the divine intellect, the third eye was awakened, my life became totally different. I took the responsibility to decide, what I want to do, where I want to go. God doesn't decide for us. People take it easily and blame God. Oh, inshallah, God willing, He wants me to suffer, so I am suffering. No father wants the children to suffer. But we have decided to perform action in such a way, we bring suffering to ourselves. So why I say 60% destiny, because we have our future in our hands. I can choose what I want. Like, say, you are standing on a crossroads. One road going here, one road going here. You are in the middle. You have to decide where you want to go. That decides your destiny, isn't it? So you got to use your inner eye, the divine eye, to see where you want to go. And you take responsibility. This is important. I have to take responsibility for my action. I can't blame God. So then I can feel that I can shape my life the way I want to. We have many examples in Raja Yoga. A dacoit can become a yogi. A thief can become a sober person. Someone who drinks and smokes, become a normal person and lead a very good life. It's not that they're sitting saying, oh, I'm destined to suffer. That is only an excuse. I call that as a lazy fellow. They don't want to get up and make effort. They put blame on God, they put blame on destiny and don't do anything.
So it's an excuse people use to avoid responsibility.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
But we can always change our destiny. We can make our destiny better, actually, because this is what I was saying. We have an intellect, we have an inner voice. So let it guide me at every step. When my intellect is dictated by my inner voice, that becomes wisdom. Wisdom helps me to change my destiny, not knowledge. See, there are 3 stages in life. One is information, second is knowledge, third is wisdom. We get lot of information, no doubt. But all information we don't contemplate and turn into knowledge. And we get lot of knowledge, but we don't transform knowledge into wisdom. The method to transform knowledge into wisdom is to use in action. So when I am soul conscious, because my inner voice is clear, I can see my life overall, past, present, and future. So I'm not reacting, I am acting, keeping the 3 aspects in front of me. And I am taking responsibility to make decisions. And I see the consequences, and I am happy to face it, And so in that way, our destiny changes.
So destiny is a consequence of our present actions, and when our present actions are guided by an enlightened will and enlightened consciousness, then the destiny is created, and it's a positive one. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and also meditation to a great extent helps me to make the right decision, because in meditation I am connecting my intellect to the wisdom of the wise, intellect of all the intellectuals. So my intellect is supplied with that highest energy that helps me to guide my life. That's my experience.
Yes, yes. So in that sense, meditation and quality of living and destiny go hand in hand.
Yeah. So we should never ever, sit down saying that I am destined to suffer. Nobody is destined to suffer. But we have decided to suffer.
Because we didn't know how not to.
Yeah. So we can come out of it, come out of it, work towards it, and create a bright future for ourselves.
So
I was telling you the example. There was one brother who was a dacoit. In India, he's very famous, But when he turned as a Raja Yogi, he realized that he can change his destiny. He don't need to be a dacoit. He can be a normal person. So he transformed himself totally. His intellect, not only he transformed, his life inspired the whole family to change. And finally, they opened a center in their home to teach others how to change. To change the destiny of people of that kind. So anyone can change. We should never ever stop our progress by saying, oh, I'm destined to suffer. Who told you?
Yes, you've been very clear around destiny, and God's role is not in destiny. What about God's role in karma?
God doesn't interfere in our karma. He doesn't have any role. His only role is as a teacher. He guides us. He is a guide. He guides us, teaching us this is good karma, this is bad karma, this is neutral karma. If you do this, you get this fruit. If you do this, you get this. Now you choose.
So free will.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have a choice. God
Yes.
doesn't choose for you.
Yeah,
If
that's right.
God has to choose for each one of us, it will be equal, isn't it? He will not have any kind of partiality, choosing good for someone, not good for others. So God will be equal to everyone. He doesn't choose for us. He only guides us. If you go there, you will reach there. If you go there, you will reach there. No, you decide where you want to go.
Lovely. So, in what way are karma and destiny interconnected?
No, the reason is, I think what people might have thought about is because something is happening consistently in their life, so which they could not prevent. They did not know the reason. So then they put blame on God. Oh, God wants me to suffer. I'm destined to suffer. Means no father would like the children to suffer, isn't it? So it was just an ignorance that brought that destiny here. To blame on God. So if God wants me to suffer, it's okay. No, it is not God wanted me to suffer, but because I have ignored certain laws in my life, I have disobeyed certain human laws in life, I am paying for the consequences. If I can only realize that much, I can change my destiny. I also think about three things. While living in this world, what is my plan? What is God's plan? What is drama plan? Which decides my destiny.
So tell us about, we've talked about someone's plan and God's plan. What's this aspect of drama plan, and how does that connect to destiny and karma?
As I defined karma earlier, energy using matter is called karma. And drama is defined as interaction between matter, soul, and God. Interaction between soul, God, and matter. That is called drama. So all the three entities are eternal. So drama is eternal. Drama is eternal.
Would an analogy for drama be like a play or something like that?
No, play is different. Drama is always short. Play is lively enacted on the stage. So two different things. We always talk about drama of life. This happened, it is destined in the drama. So we must be very careful when we use the word drama. Drama is used only when something has already happened. Then you say, okay, it was destined. It has happened. But you don't, like, for example, there is a brake in the car. You don't start the car with the brake. But you use the car when it is supposed to be accident, isn't it? You use the word drama and destiny only after you have made all the effort. Then it is the
Yes.
final, okay, full stop.
And
He said,
that's the way it becomes
no,
empowering and free will to use the concept of drama and destiny after,
after, yeah.
not
Otherwise,
before.
there is no effort is made. I can sit
Mm.
down there, like sometimes people say, you want to have a glass of water, you sit on your chair and say, if I am destined to get glass of water to drink, I will drink. So who will bring water to you? So you have to make the effort. That is also destined. In the drama, you walk to the tap, take the glass, open the tap, fill it with water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that process is also part of the drama. So that is what sometimes we forget, you know. So that is why sometimes we blame our destiny and say, oh, if God wants me to suffer, it's okay. So please, from today, don't say that. No father wants his children to suffer. All other parents want the children to be happy. It is because of my ignorance I am creating problem for myself. I am creating sorrow for myself, but I can stop it. I can make a different kind of choice. So that is why, see, karma philosophy has a choice. When we are all on the field of action, right? And so we are given the free will to choose which kind of karma you want to do. Nobody is forcing you. You have an intellect, you use your intellect and choose the karma. And according to that, you get the fruit. As you sow, so shall you reap. Huh? So some people become jealous seeing other people enjoying the fruits. But they becoming jealous will not stop them from getting what they are supposed to get. Because they have already sown good fruit. But if I get jealous, I am losing what I have. So don't be jealous. So once you understand the karma philosophy, there is no comparison.
I mean, in that context, jealousy is laziness, yeah?
Everybody is eating the fruit of their own karma. No, there is a story, sometimes they tell us, there was a king. He had 7 daughters, One day, the king asked all the daughters, daughters, tell me who is feeding you? So the first 6 daughters praised the father. Oh, you are feeding us, And the father got very happy with them. The last daughter said, no, I am eating my own. Means my destiny is giving me what I am supposed to get. So the king got angry. He ordered that she should be taken to the forest and left alone. She said, I want to see what you are eating your own. So she was left there. After a few days, the prince of the next kingdom, he came for shooting. And he saw this beautiful Rajkumari sitting there. So he took her and got her married. And there was a big wedding ceremony. And all the kings were invited. So her father was also invited for the wedding. So when the father faced the daughter asked the father the question, Father, tell me who is feeding me now? My destiny, my karma. So he was touched. He understood. He was not feeding them. Sometimes people have ego. I am doing this. But actually, it is people's karma, good karma. That they getting what they are getting. But then if I become little bit self-ego, I lose what happiness I have.
It's very good. It's a very good story. Thank you, Sister Meera. Um, Time's moving on now. I'm wondering if you could lead us in an. Actually, I'd just like to make this question to you before you lead us in another meditation. Someone has said here that karma and destiny are about choices we make on our journey that leads us to destiny. My saying right now is that life is about B, C, D, birth, choices, death of the body. Would you like to make a comment on that?
What is that? ABC?
B, C, D, birth, choices, death of the body.
Uh-huh.
So that's their mantra right now, or their saying right now about is that life is about birth
But
and then choices.
it is very important to know the definition of death. It's not the end of life. It's a
Yes,
pause in the journey of life. Death is only pause in the journey of life. So you are continuing your journey. It is not the end of your journey. So,
yes,
because the soul is eternal, it never dies. Soul never dies. The death is only for the body. In science, they say energy was never created. Energy will never be destroyed. So I exist forever. It's only the body goes through childhood, adolescence, youth, and death. Body die, I don't die. So if you can understand that the eternity, death is only the pause in the journey of life. I carry my impressions and I continue my journey.
it's lovely. Good. Thank you, Sister Meera. We'll probably have to wrap up at this point. It's been a very enriching conversation. I'd like, as we close out, for you to take us into another meditation, please. As we, highlighting these key aspects of karma and destiny, and also using this critical link with connection with the divine as a means to clear our karma.
Let us once again gather our thoughts together and bring it into the focus towards the center of the forehead, where the energy of the body resides. I am a living light, a sparkling light in the center of my forehead. This body is one of the costumes that I put on to play my role. I am quite distinct from this body made out of matter. I, the being of light, I am the mind, the power of thinking, intellect, the power of decision, and subconsciousness, the power of impression. As I become aware of myself as this living energy moving this body on this field of action, I begin to understand I have choices. I can choose my destiny and I can lead my life towards the destiny. Just to allow your inner voice to keep awake so that your intellect is guided by the inner voice. And whatever actions you perform in soul consciousness, your intellect dictated by your conscience will lead you towards your destiny. I, the being of light, when I'm connected to the source, the source of wisdom, the divine power, the one who is the wisdom of the wise. I am empowered to a great extent. I even have more clarity in my decisions. And I am carefree after I have made the decision because I take responsibility for my life. Always make sure you listen to your inner voice before you perform any action. Think before you do. Think before you speak. Think before you think. So in that way, you bring your destiny into your hands. Always remember, you are the architect of your destiny. I can make it or break it. My destiny is in my hands. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Sister Meera, thank you so much for your meditations, but also for sharing so much of your wisdom with us. It wasn't just information, it wasn't just knowledge, but it was deep wisdom that you were sharing with us on karma and destiny. It's been a very enriching conversation, so thank you, and please accept our love and our blessings.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you to all the listeners for having patience to listen. And I'm sure you will take back some message to put into your practical life to make your life very valuable and enriched. Thank you. Om Shanti.
It's lovely. Thank you, Sister Meera. Yes, viewers, we've been listening to Sister Meera sharing her insights and her rich experiences on karma and destiny. Now, if you would like to subscribe to Open Your Eyes to the Universe to receive monthly updates, then please email us at special.events@au.brahmakumaris.org. Now, if you live, work, study, visit or play in the Sydney CBD, you're most welcome to visit us at I Meditate at 180 George Street. We're open every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So drop in for some quiet reflective time, a guided meditation or group sessions, or a weekly talk on personal empowerment and spirituality. You can drop in, refresh and recharge amidst the hustle and bustle of a rather speedy city. And as always, it's free of charge. As we close out tonight, we'll play a song by Bliss on the album 100,000 Angels, and the song is called Come Into the Light. And so until we see you again next month, take care. Think before you think before you speak, and think before you perform actions, ensuring that they're always positive, and walk lightly on this earth. Om Shanti.